Welcome to our series on the wisdom of Ignatius. Throughout history, many religious reformers, leaders have been jailed. Jesus was jailed before as part of his passion. St. Paul, St. Peter, throughout our own day, Solzhenitsyn, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King. Many religious leaders throughout the ages have been jailed at one time or another, spent time in prison. The same thing happened to Ignatius on several occasions. One when crossing Italy, he was detained for a while by some soldiers. He was in a period of place where there's warfare between the Spanish forces and the forces of the empire. He was caught in the middle. When he returned to Spain, he was detained a couple times by the Inquisition, not because what he was saying was false. It was because what he was saying was without academic grounding. I didn't have the degrees to back up what he was preaching. So that attracted the attention of the Inquisition. So at one time, he spent 22 days in jail, awaiting trial. Another time, he spent about 40 days in jail. So all in total, he spent about 60 days in jail at various times, being detained. The lesson is to look at how Ignatius reacted to being in jail. So many times people in jail can react in a negative way, putting blame on others, or becoming self-absorbed, or depressed, or trying to seek revenge. What does Ignatius do? He continues to witness to his prayer and also to his own faith, and begins to counsel others even while in jail. That's significant. Jail is a limitation, and Ignatius is able to overcome limitations. Does not let limitations damper his enthusiasm or his desire to serve, but he adapts to it. That's a very significant way of judging spiritual progress, is to adapt to limitations. Now, many of us, well, most of us will never be jailed. However, we do have limitations in our own life. Limitations of health, limitations of mobility, limitations of increasing old age, limitations regarding other factors in our life. But not to let those limitations get in the way of our enthusiasm, our witnessing to others, and our serving. That's the most important thing, is to accept limitations, but also not let them get the best of us, but to adapt to them and allow those limitations to be opportunities. The big limitation we're facing right now at this present moment, as I'm speaking, is a pandemic. Certainly we are limited by where we can go, who we can see, what we can do. But to recognize that, hey, okay, I accept the limitations, but how do I work around them? How do I creatively minister to others through the parameters of the limitations that I face? Ignatius is a model of that, who accepted his limitations, his limitation of needing to go back to school, but also the limitation of being in jail. And yet that did not damper his enthusiasm and his vision of serving others and serving God. Thank you very much for joining us today for Ignatian Vision.